Gaffer, disappointing afternoon here at Pride Park. What was your initial assessment of that one this afternoon?
Assessment was we were well below. We deserved nothing from the game. That's what we got. I thought first half we were miles off it. We weren't competitive enough. We had a softness to us. We weren't brave enough on the ball, and we were looking like we were going to go in at half-time 0-0, which would have put us in a much better position to come out better in the second half, but to concede just before half-time was the worst possible time. So yeah, it was really below our expectations first half, nowhere near it. And then second half we did improve a lot in terms of getting hold of the ball, getting up to their box, dominating possession. We had a lot of that without real cutting edge, but we certainly improved a lot from where we were in the first half. But again, scoring and creating chances away from home has been a big challenge for us. We tried to use set pieces, but we couldn't quite use them effectively, so disappointing all round.
You mentioned some of the characteristics there from that first half where we were well short. Considering the magnitude of the game and the fact that games are running out at this stage of the season, is that particularly disappointing, and did you expect more this afternoon? Yeah,
I think the intent, my understanding was from the players and the feeling that we had, this was a really big game, that they were really up for it, but it didn't really come to fruition on the pitch. We just looked at a little bit passive in everything that we did. Even if we weren't pressing and we were in a block, second balls and the duels we were second best in really, but it wasn't that. It was more our attacking play more than anything else. We just didn't have a real zip about us or an intent about us to go and hurt the opposition. A little bit safe, we weren't playing forward enough, and again it's a similar theme away from home that we've had a lot this season. If that was a home game when we played Derby, it looked completely different, and that's just something that my responsibility to solve and improve, obviously, but it wasn't good enough today, and that's why we ended up with the result that we did.
At times in the first half it looked like we were maybe a back four at times, but then a back five as well. Was there anything deliberate tactically that in the way that we set up today?
Yeah, we did. We at times defended in a line of five to try and give us more stability against those long balls, a team that's very direct, and make sure that we had enough players around the second ball as well. So that was the idea, and we coped with a lot of it pretty well, but obviously they score from a cross where we can't let it come in the box. We don't defend the cross, and then you end up with a situation like that. But again, it was us with the ball. We couldn't keep hold of it. We didn't switch the play, get our wide players into crossing positions. We didn't really look a threat at all in the first half. Second half we got the ball, but without looking a real menace around their box. So all in all, from what we've worked on all week and what we've been preparing for, it was very different. Always painful when you lose, always very disappointing. And the players were obviously extremely disappointed. Everyone is, because we saw it as a huge game for our season, and we fell short.
The first half in particular, can you put that down to anything? Because it just was quite uncharacteristic. Even the games away from home where we've maybe been second best, we've still had plenty of the ball, but we just couldn't get a foothold at all.
Yeah, I think it was the players were waiting for the moments to jump up and press, knowing that the ball was coming long. So you sink back a little bit early, knowing that there's going to be a lot of long balls coming in there, which obviously gives them a little bit more time on the ball. I didn't think they were really hurting us with that possession, to be honest with you. And I was, as we were moving towards half-time, thinking this will be 0-0 and we can go from there and try and be a bit more aggressive in the second half. So, as it was, we conceded a really poor goal. So, yeah, wasn't our best day, that's for sure.
I think it took until the hour mark for us to have an effort or even a touch in the opposition box, which from you as a manager who wants us to be attacking is probably a particularly disappointing statistic.
Yeah, definitely. I think we weren't, like I say, in all parts of our game we were short of what we need to be. We've been a different animal home and away this season. That's the truth of it. At home we're one of the best teams. Away we've been really poor. And today we just didn't have enough strength and personality in our attacking play to go and make an impact.
International break now and 7 games left. Is it a case now of regrouping in this period, getting back on the training pitch and trying to put things right before we play Blackburn on Good Friday?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got 7 games to go. We have to finish as high as we can this table. We've got responsibility to go for every single game. So players are going away, they come back. We'll be training here, the rest of the players, and then we have to push and make sure we finish strong.
Thanks, Gaffer.
Thank you.
Well, Christoph, ultimately another disappointing result this afternoon.
Yeah, there's no denying that. I think a really poor first half. Not what we want to be like, and we were just hanging on, and we conceded another soft goal just before half time, which yeah, didn't make things any easier. I think second half got a little bit better, but without a cutting edge really, and I think today summarises our season a little bit.
We knew what we were coming up against today, a decent side pushing for a playoff spot. What didn't click for us today?
I don't know, we obviously tried to change something. We approached the game a little bit different, but like I said, we weren't strong enough physically again to get something there, and that's kind of been the story all season. We were decent at home obviously, but we just couldn't do what you need to get points away from home, so another disappointing afternoon.
I know you said after Charlton you referenced the big characters and to get the basics right. Is that the message that's repeated today?
Of course we knew what we had to do to coming into the game. We knew we had to battle and fight and do all the basics right, and I think we were a little bit short on that. Again, first half the balls just kept coming back, they kept putting us under pressure, and eventually we conceded the soft goal really across in the box, and he just gets up and heads it in, and we're 1-0 down away from home again. And like I said, second half we had nothing to lose really, but we didn't threaten the goal too much.
We're of course going to the international break now. What as a captain do you want to see from the team in the next week?
Of course it's going to take a few days to digest. We're going to have players travelling all over the world, so all the best to them. But the message from me is just to keep demanding of people, lead by example, and make sure we do the basics right and have a good week on the pitch.
Finally, Christoph, a word for those Blue Noses who packed out another away end in Derby today.
They were there again to support us. We know they've got demands, and we've let them down too many times away from home, so that's really disappointing. Myself as a captain, I take full responsibility for that. To say we apologise and we weren't good enough away from home.
Christoph, thank you.
Thank you.